Welcome, and we will start with a bracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
See, it'll take me a second here to get to the right place. Thank you. And here we are. All right. Thought I had a marking. Yep, there we are. Okay, so again, remember, this is all Moses making this speech. We're reading the speech that Moses is giving to the Jewish people about a month. He starts about a month before he actually passes. So, Hashem Elokechem, Hashem, your God, Hirba Etchem, has multiplied you, has made you great. But generally it means numerous, right? I want to pause for a second, because I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but it occurred to me. I think I did mention to you in the Shema. Have I talked to you about the Shema at all relatively recently? Okay, I'm assuming that's a no.
Wait, you spoke to us about the Shema and the things that have been coming to you about.
Yes. So I talked about how Hashem refers to what happened before we were born, and what happens after that. That refers to the existence of God before we came into this world, and the existence of God once we're out of this world.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Review. Right. And that Elohim.
Yeah,
right?
but I didn't hear that. So could you just summarize?
Yes, sure. It occurred to me that the fact that we say Hashem in the Shema, we say Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, right? That first Hashem, because Hashem sort of is that ineffable name, and what happened before we came into this world, that is any recollection that we have, etc. I realize, under hypnosis, perhaps you can recollect previous lives and stuff, but generally speaking, in our conscious mind, we know this world existed before we came into it, and this is referring to the divine presence before we came into this world and its level of unknowability. And then we've got Elokeinu, which refers to us now. And so the reason why we use this word Elohim, our God, has to do with the fact that we are in a conscious relationship with the divine. And then the second Hashem in the Shema refers to Hashem's existence when we die, when we're no longer in this world. And so again, that level of unknowability that we have, and the fact that it's Echad, right, has to do with our realization that the divine presence within all of reality transcends our own present, our own limited existence, and that it's all one. It's all one. Despite the fact that there appears to be a chasm between our existence here in this world and our consciousness here in this world, there really isn't. That the divine presence is manifest throughout those three stages. So that's a sense that I have. By the way, it also, I think it's consistent with the notion that the Elohim connotes justice and divine justice, because of the accountability we're going to have, every one of us is going to have to give at the end of our lives.
I love that, and it connects.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At any rate, I did want to pause a second to talk about that. Okay, so has multiplied you. V'hinchem hayom, and behold, lo, today, kechochvei hashamayim larov, you're as the stars of the sky in multitude. There's an interesting take on this. I think I'm looking to see. Yes. Okay, here we are. We did all this part. So we're here. We talked about how how judges, Jewish judges, are held responsible for any miscarriage of justice that they may, in fact, effect. Whereas other judges in other cultures may not. But that's the awesome level of having to be a judge within the Israelite context, the Jewish context. So anyway, going on. Vehinchem hayom, and behold today, kechochvei hashamayim, you are like the stars of the skies, of the heavens. Vechi kechochvei hashamayim hayu be'oto hayom. Are we saying that they were actually like the stars of the heavens on that very day? V'halo lo hayu ela samach revu. But they weren't. We know how many they were, right? They were approximately 600,000. This is 60, samach is 60. A revu is a myriad. A myriad is 10,000. So 60 times 10,000. So 600,000. So, mahu vehinchem hayom. Okay, so how could he say that? How could he say that today they were like the stars of heaven if there were only 600,000 of them? Meshulim kayom. Okay, they are compared. It's a metaphor, right? A mashal, like the day. Kayamim leolam. They exist, they will exist eternally. Kechama, like the sun, uchilvana, and like the moon, v'chachochavim, and like the stars. So when he says you're like the stars in the heaven, he doesn't mean in terms of multitude of numbers, but rather that all of you, each of you, in your numbers, are like the stars of heaven. I think there's some lovely sort of pathos in this as well. So as he goes on, right? This is him sort of warming up. Hashem Elokei Avotechem. Hashem, the God of your ancestors, Yosef Elechem Kachem, will add upon you like you are, Elef Pamim, 1,000 times. Vayavarech and may he bless you, ka'asher diber lachem, just as he spoke to you. Okay, Yosef alachem elech pamim, right? Add to you like yourselves 1,000 times. Mahu shuv vayivarech etchem. So why does it again say, and bless you, ka'asher diber lachem, as he spoke to you? Ela amru lo. But what happened was the Israelites. This is Rashi or the rabbis. You know, Rashi's quoting the rabbis or referring to the rabbis, saying that it was as if they responded to Moses, right? As if the Israelites at the time responded to him. Not that they actually did, but as if they would have been. The reason he said this is because had they responded, they might have responded in this way. Moshe, Moses, Ata noten kitzba levir chatenu. You, Moses, you are giving a limit to our blessing. Kvar hivtiach HaKadosh Baruch Hu et Avraham. The Holy One, blessed be He, has already promised Abraham in Bereshit Yud Gimel, and he goes on to say, Asher im yuchal ish limnot, because God says to Abraham back there, if people are able to count, right? Count the stars of the heaven, and I think he goes on to say, or the sands of the seashore, right? But you're saying we're going to be like it, and God's saying as if it were possible, implying a greater number. Amar lahim. So Moses said to them, Zo mishalihi, this is from me. And I think what he means here is that this is my blessing to you. This may be my blessing to you. Aval hu yivarech etchem, but God will in fact bless you, ka'asher diber lachem, just as he spoke to you. So in other words, I think what Moses is saying to them is, look, I'm a human being. I'm limited in my conception of blessing or my ability to bless or anything like that. But I've added to this that God is going to bless you ultimately as he spoke to you, as God spoke to you. Those blessings, not just limited to what I'm saying. Now, this is, at least as I make it out, if in fact you have anything that seems to imply something different, I'm certainly open to hearing that.
Chabad agrees with you.
Okay. Well, this is reassuring, I assure you. Okay. So you know, of course, that Dvarim is always read on the Shabbat preceding Tisha B'Av. And look at this word.
Mm-hmm. Is this read in Echatrop?
It is chanted in Echatrop traditionally. Okay. So something like, I mean, I know a little Echatrop. I'm not an expert at Echatrop, but yeah, that's right. That's the way, yeah. That's right. Right, exactly. Echa esa levadi. Right? Is that it? Or am I? Yeah. Yep. Right. So, right. Nothing has changed, right? How am I able? Echa means how. It's a poetic form of the word ech. So echa. How esa may I carry levadi by myself? How am I alone able to bear torchachem, your trouble, your burden, ma'asa'achem, and again, this is like, your heaviness, something that carrying you, verivchem, and your quarrelsomeness, right? Or your testing, maybe, in the masa'achem. All right, you know what they say, we are a litigious people. By the way, it seems to me, please correct me, Californians, but it does seem to me in California, we are litigious here too. It seems like a litigious state.
Well,
I've never heard of recalling the governor. Oh my gosh. The guy was elected. I've never heard of that. I've heard in other states, never heard of a recall election.
But
It's like,
not the first time that's happened. And yeah, you're right. We are a litigious state. So anyway, it is what it is.
It is. Well,
oops, we made a mistake. It's like,
very Jewish. It's not necessarily all bad, okay? But I remember, forgive me, I'm really going off the track here, but there was a one of the Newhart sitcoms, okay, where they ask what this person, what Stephanie's uncle is. I don't know if you saw that series.
I love that series.
I did too. Anyway, they introduced them to Stephanie's family, and her uncle is a sewer. And of course, they have no idea what they mean by that, a sewer. The answer is because he made all his money suing people.
Yeah.
He's known as and I think there's some good writing going on there. All right.
boy, am I glad I come to these classes.
I'm sorry. Every so often, they do say b'dichuta de milta. There's actually a Talmudic, Aramaic and Talmudic expression that every so often, just cracking a joke, doing something a little bit, is a good thing. It's good for learning. Okay. Yeah. So, echa esa levadi. How can I bear alone? Im omar lekabel schar. Okay. If I think, or I'd like to, perhaps is what he's saying, to receive a reward, lo uchal. Okay. I'm not going to get a reward for this. I'm not going to be able to get a reward for it. Zohi shamarti. This is what he meant when it's saying when I said. Okay, although it's changed here, it's saying sfarim acherim. Other versions, other texts say sha'amarnu, but I don't know why. I don't know why it would say that. It makes more sense to, at least as I'm understanding it now. It says sha'amarti lachem. Right? It's what I was saying when I said, Lo me'atzmi ani omer lachem. Okay? I'm not saying this to you on my own recognizance. ela mepi hakadosh baruch hu. So this is so interesting. I love this. He's giving us a whole different way that when he says, how can I, by saying, how can I bear by myself? In a sense, he's saying, how can you imagine that I am telling you these things, that I am in this position of leader, right? And giving you commands and instructions, that it's all because I'm making it up. I'm not doing that. That's such a different understanding than the initial understanding that we would have coming to this verse. Okay, so he's saying when he says by myself, here he means it would be chutzpah. I'm not the one. I'm not getting reward for this. Okay, it's God. God's telling me to do this. This is why I'm doing it. Okay, torchachem, right? Your burden, melamed shehayu Yisrael. Tarchanin, right? He's saying this teaches you that the Israelites were burdensome. I think is the best. I'm going to go with that for now, but we're going to clarify that. He gives an example. Haya echad mehem ro'eh et baal dino notzeach badin. If one of them were to see that his opponent, right, in court, Notzeach Badin is being successful in his suit. Omer, he says at that point, he says, Yeshli Edim, I have witnesses, Lahavi. I've got more witnesses to bring. Yeshli Ra'ayot, Lahavi. I have more proofs. Mosef Ani Alechem Dayanim, right? I had to, I think this is Moses now sort of saying, I have to add judges, right? There's these cases just drag on, right? Because one side doesn't want to give up, either side. If it looks like we're getting to a conclusion, the other side then comes up with more ways to rebut. Umasachem, right? Okay. Again, I was saying that it does have to, like, carrying you, right? Melamed, it teaches. Shehayu, or it implies. Shehayu, and this is the source of this in Sanhedrin Tzadik Tet 99. Apikursim, okay? Apikursim are, I believe, are people who reject halakha, reject the notion of halakha. Hikdim Moshe Latzeit. So here we go. Let me see. Okay. Melamed Shayu Apikursim. That's what it's saying, right? Hikdim Moshe Latzeit. It's also, I think it's also cynicism. I think that's what it refers to. People who were cynical. Hikdim Moshe Latzeit. If Moses got up early to leave, Amru, they would say, Mara ben Amram, Latzeit, right? Why is Ben Amram? Remember, I told you Ben Amram, son of Amram, is sort of a derogatory way of referring to Moses, right? What did Ben Amram see? Latzeit, to go out. Shema Einui Shafui Betoch Beito. In other words, the reason he left his house early is because he's got problems at home. Latzeit. And if he arrives, if he leaves the house late, okay, Amru Mara ben Amram. What's going on with Ben Amram? Shelo Latzeit, that he delayed coming out. Ma'atem Sruvim. Can we suggest Yoshev v'yoetz alechem, that he, is it okay that Yoshev v'yoetz alechem etzot ra'ot? Is it that he's thinking about and he's making plans, right, that are bad, right? That he's devising evil things. V'choshev alachem machshavot, right? And that he's got all these little plans that are churning in his head. That's why he's taking so long to come out. I could have told them, no, he's got a computer problem. That's what it is. Okay. Sfarim acherim, again, other texts, mitzvot v'cheshbonot, right? So mitzvot, commandments, v'cheshbonot, and calculations. So if the guy shows up early, they say, oh, he's leaving early because he wants to get out of his house, right? And if he comes late, oh, he's, so, right? You're never right. There's always a reason for your being wrong. Again, what is so lovely about this, if I can use the word lovely, right, is how this has not changed, right? How contemporary this stuff is. It goes on and goes on and goes on. And the reason why is because we're talking about human nature. And human nature human nature isn't going to change unless we actively, if we learn from the past, if we try to be conscious of it, right? And try to correct it. Verivchem, right? Rivchem, your quarrels. Melamed shayu roganim. This tells us that they were quarreling, okay? That they were quarrelsome people. So let me go in here with the arrow. And let's try this. And we'll start here with God's help tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to stop the recording. So thank you, those who were participating.